Greetings, everyone. This is Joanna from Heavenly Radiance and Universal Love Light. Thank you so much. And we wanted to offer a video on all of the teachings that we talk about is allowing ourselves to awaken and open up to who we are as multidimensional beings of light and love as universal Christ consciousness. The Christ consciousness is activated within all that we are as multidimensional beings, the water bodies, the chakras, and the DNA, all that we are, which is also the interacting and entangling and moving within the God consciousness field. As source consciousness, creator, spirit, God is in all particles, all life, the creator of all life. So as we get used to owning and acknowledging all that we are as divine beings of light, loving ourselves and allowing ourselves to heal all wounds and traumas, which is what the awakening process will initially be about, is about all the healings from the third to the fifth dimensional lifetimes and experiences that we've had that we didn't get a chance to heal and understand and own and operate, as well as co-creating a brand new reality and fifth dimensional integrity and vibrational energies. So everything that our planet is being offered is light codes and love and light. Gaia, within that ascension plan, is being offered her codes and ascension honorings through the source creator. All heavenly programs assisting all aspects of the earth and all aspects of humanity. And each and every one of us comes with a soul blueprint, and our oversoul teams here on earth and in all realms, also assisting our own unique soul's plan. So we're really entangled with all life. And we talked about this morning, if you look back on our videos, about the importance of self-care and healing. And this particular video is about entangling and the understanding of all that we've just talked about, how vast you are. You're within all particles, you're within all space, you're within all that is. So that gives us profound power and understanding that we can truly heal and honor and co-create in a higher vibrational experience and perspective. And so what that means is moving and experiencing who we are and who our environment is with us, the God consciousness fields within and within and within and above, as above, so below, as within, so without. It's this beautiful oscillating dodecahedron, which is what we are as sacred geometry, and that's how we oscillate. The more light we carry, the more light we take on, healing those older, denser aspects through beliefs and attitudes and lower vibrational concepts. We transform it and transmute it into light, therefore oscillating at a frequency that is much higher. So you don't necessarily have to know all of that. It's just a matter of the daily self-care, the healing, the clearing, and all that we've talked about, maintaining that balance so that we behave in higher integrous ways. You know, we don't react, because the ego is reactive, and the ego is all about survival, flight, and flight. So we're now shifting to this mindfulness, this perspective of soulful living, of spirit and soul, the mind, the body, the heart, and the whole heart, the whole mind, the whole spirit and body and soul. Those are the four attributes that we entangle with when we're creating alchemy. Alchemy is misunderstood. I experience it to be misunderstood, and it's really it's all encompassing. Alchemy is all encompassing of who you are, to the degree to which you are aware and remembering of who you are. It begins with your heart portal. Your heart portal is where that sacred, divine sacred heart is, that Holy Mother Father, that source creator, the Christic energies, all that you are, that sacred heart, the portal of all that you are activates the alchemy of any shifts that you're moving through or desire to move through. Whether it's manifesting something, whether it's healing, whether it's recreating your body right from scratch and recreating your space, it's the alchemy of the heart, your pure intent, using the chakra systems of all that you are. You can and feel these things as you begin to open up the subtle fields and all that you are as a multidimensional being, but you can use it just the same, just by allowing that pure intent to create change. You know, because when I was first starting my ascension work, I had a very rich emotional body. I could feel things deeper and richer than other people could, because I was a crystalline child and I was an empath, not knowing it at the time. But I could feel things really richly and deeply, and that's that pure intent feeling that you get from the belly. You know, that's your will. That's your will center, that solar plexus, your will with God, your will to make things happen. You know, and I carried lots of it. Carried me through some really traumatic times, but that will center is what allows you to create. And so using that pure will intent which is the whole heart, using that heart space first, above all. Your mind, not the ego, but the higher mind. So in any type of field work that you do, you ask the ego to observe. And we'll show you, we'll give you an experience, but we're just explaining the fields that you work within, all that you are, why it's so important, why the self-care and the healing is so important, and how you can begin to use it in your everyday life, very practically, very easily, so that you can begin to co-create in new ways and see yourself feel differently, and feel your bodies become this God essence that is within the all that you are, because you're healing the collective as well, not just you and your individual body and your individual home. You're assisting the entire collective. So we're going to give an example of working with the collective fields, and how we do it at home, how I do it, so that I can maintain the oscillation in my home. I can create new walls, new 5D space. But it begins with the heart, always the heart, and the higher mind. So just calling in the higher mind and the heart to work as one, harmonize as one, and then drop all your focus to your sacred heart. This is where we create from. And this is always the integrus of the highest benevolence, not up here, it's here. And you'll just get used to working with that. It's your heart space, because when we're living in 5D, it's not here, it's here. It's always heart space. Mindfulness is your heart center. We say mindfulness, but it's really heartfulness. It's when the higher mind merges and harmonizes with the heart space. And because it has to, it's compassionate and it's empathy. Just move my chair back so we can see. And we're going to be making more of these videos, and I'll position the videos so that it's a bit, try to get the right access there. There we go. That might be a bit better. I'll get this proper space set up. But my teams have been encouraging me to know that all of the healing that we're going through is the multidimensional bodies, the mental field, the emotional field, the etheric field, and the physical field, which means that this whole heart, whole mind, whole body, whole spirit and soul are all harmonizing together to make this happen. And so that when you're healing, it's not just one aspect. It's not just healing what you think might be an emotional wound from your childhood. You're healing everything. You'll begin to feel these things again when everything gets turned on and you start beginning to open up to all your gifts and your skills, and even tapping into the Akashic records, which I don't, I mean, if you have the gifts, that's great. But oftentimes, and what I experienced, if you're not familiar with the Akashic records and timelines and things like that, it can become overwhelming and take you off course if you're not practiced in working with subtle fields. So I don't recommend it, unless you're an avid, Akashic timeline reader and you understand how to move in and out. I don't recommend it. It's just, if you have those gifts to serve humanity and you want to learn how to work with them, it's nothing to be afraid of or anything. But when you're healing, in the healing process, it's important that you stay in this now moment, release all stories that are attached to the Akashic. I only explain it in the way that I do, because it allows others to understand the all-encompassing energies that they are, not just this here and now body, which is okay to understand that, sometimes it might be better just to understand it in this now body. But sometimes why we feel the amount of overwhelm that we do, especially if you're crystalline and an empath, because you're using those gifts later on as you go through your healing to help others, because we need those empathic gifts to help heal. That's why I can explain things in the way that I can, so that I can help people heal. And so why I say that is because I've caught myself many times using the stories within the Akash, and it just pulls you deeper into those stories. And instead of in this now moment, just healing the story, healing the emotion itself, and then moving into that, because that healing can become much quicker. And you honestly, you don't want to be any more in the energies than you need to. You just need to heal that emotional wound and then move on. You don't want to or need to get stuck in those stories, and it doesn't serve anything, and it confuses your whole entire soul, not the soul, but the psyche itself, because you don't need to. Why we always say just release the story if you can remember it. Most at this point may not be able to remember their Akash or get into those timelines, and we don't recommend that you try to seek it out. Because your soul and your higher self, and this is just what we're offered and gifted with. unless you're here to use those gifts to help people heal, because it's all an elegant design. It's all benevolent systems. It's all benevolent energies. It's us at the ego side that says, well, if I have this gift, I'm going to go circuiting, and wiring into it. But that's usually from the ego perspective. And then that will usually cause those egoic experiences. Usually when I've been caught in those, really dense energies of, it was because I wanted to understand at the heart level what that story was about, and I didn't need to. It wasn't necessarily egoic, but my heart wanted to understand why that experience occurred, so that I can heal my heart level. But not understanding that it's just that emotion I needed to heal, not necessarily the whole story. So again, use great discernment, and until you're fully in awareness of your multidimensional allness and how to read subtle fields and how to be in control of the subtle energies. Allow the Akashic records, as I said earlier, your higher self and your soul will give you exactly what you need. You don't need to go digging any deeper than what is given to you, unless you feel it's really going to assist you in the healing. And then you can ask your teams, this will really assist me in my healing because my son is going through this or my daughter is going through that. Please help me understand. And then an understanding might come through that doesn't have to go into the Akashic record. There's nothing wrong with it. But again, you can get pulled into energies and stories that you don't necessarily need to, and it will clog up the emotional body that is already moving at such an accelerated pace. Remember that you are an infinite being of light. You come with teams and guides that know absolutely what you need when you need it. So trust. We at this ego level that are going through so much healing and so much transition, this earthly level, it's great that we're stepping into our master, we're stepping into that ownership. However, know that it comes through your experience, and it comes through your humility, and it comes through your reverence and your respect of all these processes that is gained. And it's only gained so that you can access it to use and help others, And so we say that with great reverence, because there's reasons. There's always reasons for the ego mind to want to figure things out. That's the vibration of energies that end up entangling in energies that or stories or experiences that aren't necessarily benevolent to the oversoul's growth, because the soul just wants to grow in unconditional loving ways, not explore energies that don't necessarily need to be explored. Again, until you're fully understanding the expansiveness of energy and what is the benefit of it. Because right now, humanity is in a crucible point where we're healing so much at such a fast rate. It's really important that we just focus on what needs to be done, and then we'll be able to expand into the gifts and the vastness and the array when we've awakened to all of our bodies and all of our gifts and all of our experiences. Right now, we're focusing on healing humanity right here and right now. And so try not to get sidetracked. Unless you're taking a course from somebody that, is very well read and well understood with the Akashic records and how to use them appropriately, how to use them with reverence and benevolence. Otherwise, again, trust unconditionally. You're one with Mother, Father, Source. You're one with your soul and with your higher self, your guides. That's this soul team that you operate from this divine sacred heart. You will be always gifted with what you need. The experiences, the memories will always come forward, always, 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 without question. You never have to worry about not getting information. You will always be given what you need. And for visionaries, because I'm a visionary, I usually see things or experience things in a sensory way. I'll just have a knowing, or I'll feel things in the field or in the timelines. And then I'll ask intuitively, what is it that I need to pay attention to? What is it I need to hear, to know, or to sense in this now moment? Because those of us that are highly sensitive and empathic and highly turned on, so that we can teach the collective about what's going on, even our judgments and our thoughts, those are all creating in the subtle field before we see it manifested. So it's really important that we get to understand all that we are. And we're coming forward with these vast array of gifts and dynamics so that we're using them with benevolence and reverence and humility to use for the greater good of all. Honoring it from the heart space, and why there's processes to understand how to use it with great honor and great reverence, so that it's also returned to you in that way. And so it's just about the Akashic records. So what we were saying, that those that come with visionary and these gifts so that we can help teach others, it's so that we can understand the stories that are going on, so that we can pull out, like usually when I'm doing healing for clients, I can pull out the information that's needed to assist them. Normally when I'm doing a session and when I'm teaching, my teams will show me, and my higher self will show me what is the information from that timeline that's playing right now. It's like a movie in the background, and I can pull out that information to give them what's required now. And all of the fields, their soul, their higher self, my teams, their teams, everything is in assistance saying that this is the information they need, here you go. And I'll feel it. Sometimes I will see it, but most often I'll just feel it from a timeline. I'll just see a thread and I'll pull it. And that's the information that's required. It's not, it's all vibrational. I'm saying these things for the words that we have to describe it, so that you can understand how we as empaths and as light workers use it to assist in this now moment. It's always now. It's always to assist here and now. And that's why the Akashic records are available to us. For no other reason than for us to use the gifts and the skills, to use the lessons and the blessings that we've been gifted from all timelines, all memories, and use them to benefit the benevolence of now. That's the highest priority that we have them for, so that we can use all that we are. And it might only be a little packet of information that's required to get that person through that healing that they need. It's no different than hypnotherapy. And the hypnotherapist just allows them to go deeper into their subconscious to pull out that timeline themselves or that experience. So it can be used in a conscious way, where I'm consciously aware of it and I can pull the information from the timeline to give them that piece of information they need to heal, or it can be done through hypnotherapy. You know, it's just a matter of what kind of conscious level they want to use. And those that will be using these gifts in their healing modalities as they move along in their awakening will come to recognize the feelings and the sensations. And again, why we offer our teachings, because there'll be many awakening, especially the crystalline children, to their many gifts that they'll be using. And do we have these gifts so that we can help heal? We can help understand the multiverse of all that we are, and then begin using them in benevolent ways so that our bodies, our minds, and our souls and our hearts become healed as the God being that we are, to use in a benevolent and reverent and humble way, you know, as we've always been meant to as the children of God. You know, but right now, because we're going through this crucible into a fifth dimensional gateway, every single person on this planet is honored with the benevolence of healing every timeline that they've come to heal. 51% of their timelines, their karmic energies, if you will. We can release a lot of karmic energy with the karmic board and with our souls and with Mother Father, approving it based on what we've gone through, what we've moved through as far as the soul's desire to grow and learn. But each of us come here to move beyond 51% of the karmic stories that we've all created and been co-creating over time, from a third dimensional perspective to a 5-dimensional perspective. We then enter the gateway of 5-dimensional once we do that. So all of humanity is now awakening, which means that light workers and everybody is standing on guard, you know, in our power and in our skills, that we can begin helping, you know, standing on point, I would say. Keeping our focus that we're here for the facilitation of humanity moving into this new gateway of releasing and healing and understanding what they're even moving through, because they feel differently than they did before. They're awakening to so many different things they never were aware of. So this mass awakening is about the allness that we've always been, that we've hidden ourselves from the many beliefs. And the beliefs and the perspectives and the attitudes and the subjugation is what everybody will be healing in different ways, different levels and different layers. Mm-hmm. Because we all come with different soul families and different themes that we're all working on. And through that healing will require that the whole multidimensional body, the whole heart, the whole mind, the whole spirit and soul, and the whole bodies be brought into greater care, greater awareness, self-care daily. And, you know, we've talked about the self-care, and we've got it on our social platforms as well as our website. So please feel free to download that. And we'll actually attach it to the cover of this video, so that you have that checklist and you can work with it, you know, and just change it as you want. I found that that's what works for me. I open up my chakras and I clear them, you know, after I do my dream reflection. And it's a process, it's a really easy process. So what we wanted to show you in this one, after we've just gone through the intro about the various fields we work within, the God fields that we work within, the God that we are, how your higher self, your soul, and your teams are with you, Mother, Father with you, the Holy Creative Collectives are with you. and how you begin to co-create these energies that you can begin working with the God fields. And there's movement in it for me. This is what I found helps me because I'm crystalline, and it's really important to pay attention to. The process of the healing is acknowledging and claiming what you're healing and saying, okay, I'm ready to let this go now. I've learned my lesson with great honor, with great appreciation. I release this to the fields of Source Creator and ask this to be transmuted into the highest light. Please assist in transmuting all aspects that I am, body, mind, heart, and soul, to a higher vibration, so that I'm transmuting these lessons and these energies back into light for me. So that my soul then grows, and my soul grows from my own love, my own compassion, and my own forgiveness of whatever has occurred in that experience. So that's a constant cycle of harmonization. Whatever densities I'm carrying, I'm owning it, I'm acknowledging it, I'm forgiving it, I'm giving it compassion and love, and I'm carrying on. Each and every one of us must go through that process to some degree or another, whether it's forgiving someone for any ails or ailments or anything that we've experienced this lifetime or all other timelines, all realms. But forgiveness and compassion, unconditional love, and owning and claiming it. So yeah, I claim that. That's the consciousness that I was working at the time, and this is what I did. I now know that these are my lessons and this is my truth now. I will act in this way now. I'm going to listen to my higher self. I'm one with my higher self. I'll choose to work in a benevolent way from my heart. So these are the processes, these are the energies that allow you to grow. Not just saying, okay, yeah, and then you get on to doing whatever you did before, because that's not and it might happen too. But the growing comes from that reflection. That's why we say that self-care is not only about clearing and cleansing your fields, but it's about your reflection time. What did you learn? What stories are you taking with you that really make up that master that you are? So reflection time and integration time is really important. This morning I had a really big clearing, and I'm going to spend more time reflecting on what I was feeling and what I was going through, and how it's connecting with the collective, and how it's connecting with how I can offer it to the collective and my family for healing and for expansive love and honor and appreciation. And then the integration time can take anywhere from a couple of hours to days, depending on what you're integrating. Persecution, I've been healing persecution for many years. Integration can be sometimes a half an hour, and sometimes it can be a couple of days. It depends on how the release that you let go. Like this morning I let go of 2 timelines that I could feel, probably more energies in other memories, because it's all multidimensional. It's never just 1 or 2 things. It's always it's always a much bigger story and picture than we can understand or know, and we just don't have words for it, and that's okay. But so, this morning that was really, really big, and I want to take that time to reflect and integrate, that, because that's honoring the soul. If we're not taking time to reflect and integrate, you're not honoring the light that you are. Because that light that you are had that lifetime taken away from them or cut short for whatever reasons. And we're not honoring that part of ourselves if we're just moving on to the next, trying to get through it faster. And I'm speaking for it because I've done that. I speak it because I know it. Thinking that, okay, because I'm a get her done type of person, let's get her done. I got stuff to do here. But honoring of the soul is honoring of the soul. There is no time. It's more important that you honor and love and feel that reverence, understanding that reverence, because that's how you carry alchemy. You can't work without it. And if you are working without it, then your results will be lack of reverence. And we've had those experiences in Lemuria and Atlantis. So we prefer to carry forward in a way that is honoring of all soul and all life, which is reverence and humility and respect and honor, and why these teachings are so foundational, to be the foundation of love in all things. Because we are truly, my guides were telling me for some time now, that we are truly rewriting the family tree of humanity, which is built from foundations of unconditional love, the Christic energies, which is unconditional love, the creative bliss that we were born to be, the sacred children from heaven and God, source, creator, spirit, heavens, however you want to describe the creator. And this family tree is to be built upon the 5th dimensional frequencies that will be in reverence of all life. All life being brought up to that higher level where we are all honoring one another. And we're going to do a separate video for the sacred mantra for all those in your family circle and your community and humanity, so that those that are unfamiliar with how to work with the alchemy of reverence and benevolence and love You get used to using these mantras to show you how you feel differently when you're using reverence and gratitude and appreciation and honor, not just moving through the processes of healing. There's a difference. The difference is alchemy. If you're working with pure gratitude and pure unconditional love, with pure compassion, forgiveness, when you're working with those Christic vibrations and you can feel it within your body, that's when you activate the Adam, Eve, Antine particles that move up your spine and through your chakras that activate those gifts and skills. So there is a difference. There's no judgment on either way, because we'll all experience both sides, because that's what the soul wants. The soul wants to experience those fast and quick healings, because you'll need those at times. And then your soul will want to really soak within the reverence of moving through what you're moving through. But to truly gain the gifts, to gain the wisdom, to gain the knowledge, to gain your allness, it comes from those Christic vibrations. And that's honoring your time to reflect upon who you are, to feel sacred within who you are, to create your sacredness within who you are. That's the true alchemy of who you are, is the all. You're working with God in every moment, in every cell, in every atom. And you will feel it. That's alchemy. That's when you go through those immediate remissions, spontaneous remissions, or you heal a mental imbalance. And that's when you're using the alchemy of all that you are in reverence, seeing yourself and feeling yourself as God unworthy. And so this is why I'm explaining it, because I can feel the subtleties. And there'll be moments where I'm not feeling in complete pure alignment of that reverence. And then I drop myself further into that respect level. You can feel it. If I'm just having to run out the door and do something, then I'll connect at a level that's different than when I've got a few hours and I'm just, and you can feel yourself in these different waves of purity. So be aware, just of your bodies and what your body needs and wants from you. The more that you're working within your whole body, your whole spirit and soul, your whole heart, your whole mind, you'll feel the shifts. And those that used to bother you yesterday, as far as any mental imbalances or emotional imbalances, they'll be completely disappeared. That's the difference. That's alchemy. That's working as God. You as God, all as God. That's the wholeness. That's why we say all that you are as a body, all that you are as a spirit, all that you are as a soul and a mind and a heart. That's the alchemy. And it's passion. It's all that you are. It's not half. It's all that you are. Pure intent. And it's pure. And so we'll just give you an example. So this is an example. So if you're just finishing a healing, and we've talked about the healing steps, and it'll be posted on this video page, and it'll be posted on our websites, and you can work out what feels good for you. But we've talked about before how important it is to clear first, clear and cleanse first, do your dream reflection. Then do your clearing and cleansing, opening up your chakras, asking your teams to recalibrate, calling in the light, calling in the Christic light, come down your soul star chakra, come down all of your chakras to clear and cleanse, bathe your multidimensional fields, bathing your physical, your mental, your emotional, your etheric fields with holy light, bathing and clearing all energies that don't belong to you, all thought forms, imprints, anything that you've taken on, because sometimes they sit in your chakras. This has happened to me so many times. Energies that I've taken on by people that I've been around, and their belief systems and their belief patterns and thought forms are in your fields, and you can take them on in your stomach. Their fears, their anything that they're carrying that's out of alignment, you can take on. If you're not setting boundaries and you're not aware and clearing it. And I've had clients, come to me and say, asking me why their children were acting in certain ways. And the first thing that, most often than not, the first thing that would come up is they're just carrying so much in their fields. They're not being cleared out, properly. They're carrying everything, their bodies and their chakras. So it's important to just do daily clearing, get them used to doing it themselves. So they're taking ownership of their bodies and how they feel. How do you feel when you come home from school, or from, big social gatherings, and just go into the shower and do that visualization and clear and cleanse, and ask your teams to come in and help you clear your bodies and your chakras, so that they can feel how different they feel. Like, wow, I do feel different. This is me. This is who I am. And so do the clearing first, your dream reflection, set your intentions, your affirmations, because the first few seconds that you wake up, set your vibration for the day, and just before you go to bed as well. And then you do your dream reflections and your journals, because we're harmonizing and we're learning 24/7. because sometimes our dreams escape us. You can always call them back because it's all consciousness all now, but dream reflection and pull out the highest things that have been brought to you. It might be lessons, numbers, symbolisms, anything like that for you to redirect your path, because sometimes in our dreams they're showing us, okay, you need to redirect, you need to do this, you know, you're kind of veering off course here. So our dreams are really, really important, and they also show us portals of what to walk through. They're preparing us. Okay, there's something big coming up, you're going to walk through this door, right? You know, they're preparing the physical body, letting go of the ego to say, I'm walking in spirit now, and it looks completely different than it did before, so you got to let go of your fear. So this is what sometimes dreams prepare us for. Also big healings and big changes. So it's okay, really good to get those out of the way, because it becomes a part of your clearing, you know. And then you go into the clearing phase where you open up to source, you ground, open up your chakras by intention. I open up all my chakras. I calling in the divine source white light to come from the highest heavenly counsels of the Christ, the Holy Spirit, Mother, Father, Source Creator, Divine Spirit, my guides, the highest beings of my highest benevolence. I call in the highest frequencies of holy light to bathe and cleanse me now. To bathe and cleanse my physical field, my mental field, my emotional field, my etheric field. Please bathe and cleanse me with the highest frequencies and the highest codes that are to my highest of my best. Bathing and cleansing every atom and every cell. I bathe and cleanse all that I am through every organ and every system. I bathe any chakras, bathing and cleansing as they open and as they spin and oscillate. Any frequencies, any densities, any blocks that need to be released and let go, please be released now. Your intention and your higher mind and the inner eye and your heart space are all connecting with each thing as you're saying it. And as you do this more and more, you'll just get to feel. Well, that also awakens you to all the bodies and everything that's going on within you. And then you're directing, you're becoming the manager of your ship, if you will. And so your higher mind, your inner eye, and your higher self and your soul come forward. I call forward my higher self and my soul, all that I am as a spirit. And the soul I feel here. I feel the soul live through me here, just like Mother, Father lived through it here. And I call the Father, Mother, and the Holy Christ Collective to live through me in this moment of now, to assist me in oscillating the sun and the beautiful energy of pure white light that I am, to spin from within, further cleansing and clearing any blocks from my inner chakras and my bodies, to spin out to creation, be transmuted into highest life through the Holy Father, Mother, through the Source Creator, so that any densities, anything that I'm releasing now that doesn't belong to me, anything that I'm releasing now that no longer serves, anything that I'm releasing now be put into the source field of the highest light transmuted by the Holy Spirit. Unconditional love, I call in the highest light. Feel your root chakra ground into the sands and soils of Gaia, ground into Gaia's heartbeat. I commune and I am one with Gaia. I call in the nourishment and the nutrients from Gaia, from the crystalline grids, to move up my earth star chakra, to move up my chakras through my inhale. I'm calling in the nourishment. I'm calling in the nutrients. I'm calling in all that my body needs, all the elements of Gaia. I am one. I'm feeding with Gaia, and she is nourishing me. Up to your highest breath, and you hold your 0 point. You're calling in unconditional love from above. From above and as below, we're harmonizing. So from your bottom breath and your top breath, you're harmonizing, you're harmonizing, you're harmonizing the highest frequencies, the highest codes, the highest nourishment from earth up, from the highest and down. All that you are is being cleared and cleansed through your breath. Your breath is the elixir of source. Your breath is the activator of your intention. I'm unconditional love. I'm moving into my highest frequency of light and code. I'm calling in the Metatronic and the Christic lights to nourish me and feed all that I am as a divine being of holy light. I am unconditional love. I am unconditional love. I am my highest and best version of me. So as you've set this now space, you've cleared, and then you can take further time after you're clear. If you feel something that's popped out, or you have a vision, or you have something that's come out through your clearing, then you can do your journaling. We're just going to continue on so that we can show you how all of this works in a smooth and simultaneous fashion. But sometimes I will take breaks if I'm clearing something, and I will write something out, and I will journal something, or I'll get wisdoms from the Source Creator, all of my teams, of what's going on, and I'll write it out so that I'm doing my reflection and my integration. And so as you're in this high vibrational state, you've done your clearing. Now you call all of your consciousness still in. You're calling all your consciousness, all light, all power that you are as a multidimensional being. You're calling it into your divine sacred heart. And now you're feeling your solar plex activate. Your solar plexus is that I am power center. You can feel your root chakra grounding, so you can always see my throat is clearing through that activation. Thank you for clearing my throat chakra, teams and guides. So continue clearing while I'm working on my field. So I'm calling in the highest light to my throat chakra and continue this clearing, please. And I can feel all that I am now at my heart and my beautiful sacred altar. This sacred altar is where your soul is. You're honoring your soul. So I usually have my hand placed on my solar plexus on one of my sacred heart chakra. And then I set my intention. I've just released a whole bunch of stuff. And what I'm really excited to create now is I'm really excited to create a 5D space. I want my kids to wake up in the beautiful, bright 5D space. I want me to feel good walking around in my 5D space. So I'm calling in the heavenly angels, the highest universal angels of healing, the highest Christic universal angels, the fairies, the pixies, all of my beautiful family members and celestial members, want them to help me clear and cleanse my space. The universal dragon, which is the mother, father, source, that are clearing and cleansing with me. And I'm going to clear and cleanse my space. And I just use a gentle hand motion, pretending that there is a dodecahedron of source creator energy within my, because it's my soul. I'm sending my soul, all that I am as source, out into the field of source. And through unconditional love, joy, and childlike play, those are the vibrations of the Holy Christ that we're co-creating within. Joy to be with source, joy to experience source, joy to explore and co-create with source. I'm sending out my beautiful excitement to create 5D space. And I can see and I can feel that I'm putting together the elements of spirit and the elements of light and joy. And I'm co-creating these walls brand new as 5D. They're not as the way they were yesterday. So as I wake up in the morning, these walls are different. The space and the air is different. The lights are different. And as you get to awaken to these energies, you get to, wow, I can create a space that feels good and it's not bogged down with all these negative thought forms. They're being cleared every morning. Especially when you're living in a house with other people and they're not working on their energy field, which is fine. You'll just have to, you'll be aware of it because you'll feel it. As you're, you're working, this is just an example of clearing. You'll feel it, as your fields get cleared. Most people can't feel it because their fields are so heavy with so much stuff. Once they get their fields cleared, then they say, wow, that's what I was living in. Yeah, so let's create 5D space. Set the intention. I call all of my teams, I call my higher self, I call my soul, I call the highest energies that are really excited about helping you co-create space. There's teams out there that help you create space. I'm a co-creator of source. I'm going to create the space to be loving and joyful and healing, especially if you have a healing practice. Then you can create those spaces. I do my writing here, I do my painting here, I play with the kids here, whatever it is. Set those intentions from your chakra system to get excited about it. You'll feel your body lift and get that excitement. I'm flowing the universal energies, call in the universal energies, all that is source, all that is unconditional love, all that is happiness and joy, and have it, you will be able to feel it live through you. And that's where we send it out to the space. I create my 5D space. I create joy. I create love. I create a happy space. I create a space of wellness. The air is crisper and cleaner. The air is crystalline. My body is being fed by this space, and my space is feeding the bodies. And just send it out love, compassion, happiness, joy. And you can feel the energies because your chakras, everything is a chakra and sending energies and emitting out. And you have chakras everywhere, and they're emitting energies out to your space. And so you just set the intention. I'm sending love and happiness and joy and love and happiness and joy and love and happiness and joy. And then you can do a little, just really gentle, soft movements. It's always soft and gentle. Don't thrash your body around, soft and gentle. And I want to feel all that I am with Source Creator, the highest of the heavens. And I call these energies and codes now. And call all of these beautiful energies in to feel your highest self. And you anchor it into the ground. You're anchoring 5D light to the ground, anchoring 5D light, anchoring 5D light, anchoring 5D joy, dancing and singing in joyful space, dancing and singing in joyful space. And I'm sending out unconditional love to the collective. I'm creating love and joy and healing for the collective, love and joy and healing for the collective, love and joy and healing, love and joy and healing, love and joy and healing, love and joy. Chair is creaking because I always move. And healing, healing, and then you just make a song of it. Love and healing, and healing, unconditional love and joy, two, and healing. 5D space. Here we are, playing with God and Source, Spirit, all that is, making lovely space. And anchor in your intention. I have created 5D space today. And as I walk, my light clears all. My light and love is all I need. Clearing the space, cleansing the space, amping the space up. Own it, intend it, create it. We hope that you've enjoyed this example and intro onto creating 5D space and understanding the fields that you live in, understanding all that you are a source, understanding the divine and sacred being that you are, for that's the reason of our sacred corner, to remind you of all that is sacred and reverent and divine blessedness that we each walk within, and to honor our bodies and honor all that we are, the experiences of all that we're going through, to drop us into deeper levels of compassion and oneness and hope and co-creative experience. These are really fun times to co-create. We're creating our spaces. You're creating the fields you're walking on. And so put your joy into it, put your childlike wonder, your play, your movement of who you are as a vessel of light. And we're bringing those higher vibrational worlds of energy and those beautiful sacred temples that we've all worked in. And we're actually bringing it here and now and anchoring it to beautiful co-creative spaces that we're creating community and collective divine healings for our pure intent to have our humanity healed. You know, I'm sending out healing energies for my collective, divine miraculous healings, divine miraculous healings from the purity of all that I am, the source creator. And I'm sending it to the collective. We are love, we are love, we are love. So thank you, dear loved ones. We hope that you've enjoyed that. That was our introduction. And remember to call your teams in to be guided by your soul. Use soft and gentle movement, always soft and gentle, with elegance of who you are as divine source creator, and honoring all that you are as spirit in all things, God in all things, and co-create from that benevolence and that reverence and that excitement to be love and co-creation. And we thank you. Bye.